here. Hopefully y'all can hear me out there in the YouTube lands. Let me get my microphone situation here all set up. All right. What's going on, folks? Hey, I see I have somebody here in the chat. What's going on? How you doing? I'm Professor Cag. Nice to meet you. You're the first comment that I have here for the evening. What's your name? Excellent. Good. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. Okay. It looks like we have maybe two people here. What's going on, folks? Welcome to our first ever edition of In the Class with CAG. I am your friendly neighborhood professor. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. All right. How you doing, Laylee? Very nice to meet you. Very nice to meet you. I'm glad that y'all could pop your heads in here for a quick tidbit. We won't stay here for as long as we may in some other cases, but I just wanted to kind of start off the class. Hey, how you doing? Looks like we have Ashley Butler in the Zoom room. I just wanted to start off the semester. How you doing, Tamika? I'm reading people's screen names. So whatever it is that's a part of your screen name, whatever's after that @ symbol, I'm assuming that that's your name. So correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, let me know what your name is. Just drop your names right there in the chat. Luna, what's going on? How you doing? Very cool screen name. All right. This is everybody. Man, this is almost kind of like a family reunion for the first time. Tamika, very nice to meet you. Very nice to meet you. It's almost kind of like a family reunion for the first time. For any of you, I don't even know if they still do that anymore, but back in the day, um, they used to have these things called family reunions where you get to actually meet all of your cousins and your aunties and your uncles and all your people. Whom you've never met and for whom you may never meet again until the next family reunion. This here is something like that. It's very similar because this is a space where all of my classes actually come together. So the literature classes, the composition classes, multiple levels of the composition classroom is going to be here. So I want to invite everybody today just to have one big powwow, as it were, at least to create an opportunity where you all can actually meet me virtually, at least. Feel free to drop some comments, questions, even concerns or issues, things that may or may not kind of be popping up right now for you in the classroom, things that you might actually be kind of struggling with, a couple of links that might be a little stubborn. Please let me know. Oftentimes in these online classes, unless I have like a bunch of students who like comment, or even one student who just kind of says, "Hey, CAG, so and so is not working," then it it will oftentimes fly over my head. I do my checks and things of that sort, and I try to make sure that there aren't any, kind of gaps in terms of getting you all connected to the materials and the resources that you'll need in order to be successful here in this class. But sometimes there's some things that just end up going right on over my head. So please feel free to let me know. and definitely in the chat on these days where we have our YouTube live sessions. Okay. Um, and until I actually kind of see some questions here floating in the chat, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually kind of float through um the week one for you all now, because this is one big conglomeration of courses that I have. All of your week ones will look a little bit different. Okay, so I'll take some time, I'll go over each of them for right now on our first day, and then I think as the semester goes by, what I'll end up doing is I may end up having to, I don't know, it depends on what your, based on your feedback. I may, if I need to, I will start to create another YouTube live date and schedule um, that follows in accordance with the class. Because as the semester continues on, then we start to get a little more hyper focused, a little more specific on the assignments that we have coming down the pipeline. So, matter of fact, actually, I'm saying this out loud, and I'm like, no, I need to actually do that. So there will be some more dates that will be that I'll make available for you all. That'll just be exclusively for our class. But for today, one big family reunion. Okay. Let me tell you a little bit about myself as I begin to pull up this canvas so we can dive right on into week one. So, as you probably have heard me say in the videos and also tonight, this evening, I'm your friendly neighborhood Professor CAG. I'm usually swinging through the hallways, highways, and byways of a local neighborhood near you. Ever since the pandemic, I've been swinging through the hallways, highways, and byways of a local Zoom room near you because we've shifted our learning to the online space and the online realms, the YouTubes and the internets. And I kind of like it. It's okay. I'm experimenting with it. It's a new medium for me to teach through, speaking about the online digital space. And it's a challenge that I am conveniently equipped for. So, part of what I want to actually highlight for you all, a little bit of background about myself, who I am and where I come from, how I even arrive here to you. Many of you are going to get exposed to this within the week, within the first week of, or excuse me, within the second week of our readings. I'll give you a model. I model an example of what one of your essays could potentially look like that you have due. I think it's February 22nd. So in about 3 weeks, a little less than 3 weeks, as a matter of fact, about maybe closer to two and a half. Um, and in that model, in that essay that I provide for you all, it's a model of a memoir, a critical memoir, right? And so my critical memoir is indeed available underneath part of the readings. Really, not so much to like pop my own collar to like kind of pull my to kind of gas my own self up, but more so to let you all know. One, here's an idea of what your essay can look like that you're going to do. And then two, to introduce myself to you all. That's more so, really, that's the number one reason why I've actually included it. Um, Oftentimes, professors don't necessarily share very much about themselves with their classes for a variety of different reasons. Some professors do, some professors don't, most don't. However, I kind of tend to fall into the category of an instructor who likes to actually share some things about themselves, who certainly likes to bring what is considered to be a part of the so-called personal realm into the classroom. And by personal, I don't mean like a real, like the housewives of you pick a city. That's not the kind of personal I mean. No, 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 no. When I say personal, I mean I'm sharing with you all some parts and pieces, tidbits of my background that helps to provide context. And context is one of the key, most important um, concepts that all of my students will develop and will learn if they've not already been exposed to it throughout my classes. Um, So who am I and how do things kind of get to be this way for me? Well, I'm from Los Angeles, California. I was born and raised in LA. I went to high school all throughout South LA, really. I went to high school at King Drew Medical Magnet High School, and I did go there uh, back in the day or during the time frame of the so-called 1900s, as some of my most disrespectful students have uh, mentioned. Disrespectful in a loving way. But yes, I did indeed go back there. I started during the 1900s, and I graduated and then went to the University of California, Riverside. I went to King Drew because I wanted to be a doctor. Part of one of my dreams and goals as a young person was really to help people. I wanted to help people, and doctors help people. Therefore, I wanted to become a doctor. And so part of my journey to becoming a doctor included during my summers, like for fun, I would actually go and volunteer in the hospital. But like I wouldn't be like I wouldn't be all over the entire hospital. I would only go directly to the emergency room because that was the kind of physician that I wanted to. That was the kind of medicine I wanted to practice. That was the kind of physician I wanted to be. And so um, that led me to King Drew, which is a high school. It's a magnet school for medicine and science. In which case, I did actually get to go to another hospital uh, into their trauma and their emergency room rotation, which happened to actually be the number one trauma center in the entire United States, King Hospital. So I have some a little bit of background in kind of the medical field, loosely and adjacent. Okay. I went into UC Riverside as a pre med student, and until I took a class, until I had one semester where I was finished with all of my GE requirements and had to take my major courses, which included all math and science courses. Um, so when I had to take all math and science courses, it was um, it was a bit of a revelation for me. I started to discover how I begin to learn best. That is to say, how I begin to recognize patterns and how I begin to engage with the material in the most fruitful kinds of ways, in ways that allowed me to kind of lean into challenges a lot more. Um, And I floated toward that direction because, or rather, I floated in towards the direction of changing my major outside of a biological sciences major and towards English, really by following some good advice that I got from a mentor. She happened to be my fourth, seventh, and eighth grade teacher. And the interesting thing is, I came home after failing miserably one of my midterms. I think maybe my second midterm from from a biology class, and then also my chemistry class. And when I came home, I hopped on AIM, which don't you dare laugh. For those of you who have a question mark across your face and you're like, what is AIM? It started the direct messengers. It started DMs. Okay, uh, back in the early aughts, the early 2000s. Um, but I hopped on AIM, and we happened to be friends, and so she sent me a message, and kind of caught up with me, and I explained to her that I was failing my exams, and I was thinking about changing my major. Um, First thing she said was, "Oh, cool. What are you thinking about changing it to?" I said, "Sociology and psychology." She said, "Oh, okay, that's wonderful. But here's the thing. Um, those majors typically tend to be what they call impacted, meaning that it might actually prolong your time at school. And so you could do it. But Damon, why don't you think about consider maybe for a second, why don't you consider being an English major? Now, in my mind, I said to myself, not to her. She's my fourth, seventh, and eighth grade teacher. uh, I said to myself, I don't want to be stuck reading books and writing papers for the rest of my life. I got parties to go to. I'm low key the man on campus. What do I look like doing being an English major? Clearly, you can see how that turned out. I am stuck reading books and writing papers for the rest of my life, and I absolutely love it. My academic journey, part of the reason why I wanted to share that with you is because really, my academic journey was really a collection of moments and experiences that I never wanted to do. And I vocalized that. I was very, very adamant about not wanting to do certain things, not wanting to do the things that people were advising me to do, right? The things that people were suggesting for me to do. And not because they were suggesting those things out of some selfish sentiment or reason, but really because it was just outside of my comfort zone. I don't want to be stuck reading books and writing papers for the rest of my life. I got parties to go to. But I certainly went on into the English major office and asked them, okay, how do I become an English major? They laid out the steps, they gave me a plan, I followed through and I executed. Um, After that, I went to Penn State, which was the number one composition and rhetoric school in the entire nation. I ended up actually getting a scholarship into Penn State, um, and joined their English program with that emphasis. After swearing up and down and telling everybody, including my mentors, who finally twisted my arm enough, that I do not want to leave California. I will never leave California. They don't have any tacos and they don't have any beaches anywhere outside of this place right here, unless I'm going to Miami, and I'm not going to Miami. Um, my entire academic journey is a collection of people, good mentors, good advisors giving me good advice, and me resisting, kicking and screaming, saying, no, 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 that's not what I want to do, and being fully coherent and lucid. And being also too in a position where I believe that I knew what was best for myself. Um, the reason why I share that story there with you, is also too to show that sometimes on this academic journey, we could you we can know we can have a clear sense of where it is that we want to go. Okay. Nobody had a clearer sense of where they wanted to go than me. Listen, if you would have talked to me when I was 12 years old, and you would have asked me, I had people ask me. Matter of fact, I developed a nickname because people would ask me this question. Yo, what you want to do when you grow up? 12 years old. Boom, I want to be a doctor, an ER physician with a special emphasis in cardiovascular surgery. Right? At 12, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. Now, however common or uncommon that may or may not be, that's not the point. That doesn't matter. What matters is how clear and confident I was at 12 years old for what I wanted to do. I was just as clear and confident when I went into the biological sciences major at UC Riverside. I was just as clear and confident when I changed my major and became an English major and said I will never leave California. I'm going to grad school out here. Right? I was just as clear as saying I do not, when I was at Penn State, I do not want to become a teacher. I will find something else to do, but I don't want to teach. You know, the road that I ended up actually being on, that has me in front of you all, in front of the digital screens out here in the land of the internets, this evening, uh, it wasn't already made for me. I made the road as I took each step. Okay. And so many of you may find yourselves on that very same kind or type of journey, or at least somewhere in the general vicinity of that journey. I'm just here to tell you, I'm trying to tell you this story just to let you know that it's okay. It all ends up working out in the end. Not because of, your certainty or anything like that, but really because of who you surround yourself with and your ability to engage in one of the key critical reading components and tools, techniques rather, not tools, but techniques of critical reading called active listening, right? Our ability to not just hear, hearing is a biological function, right? But listening, right, means and requires some level of intentionality. It also requires vulnerability. How to be vulnerable. This is my fourth, seventh, and eighth grade teacher who, I mean, it's easy for me to be vulnerable for her. I grew up knowing her, you know what I'm saying? But I never lost that vulnerability with her. And I think through that vulnerability, it opened me up. It allowed me to um, go out on a limb and to take her advice because I certainly couldn't see what was down the yellow brick road. I had no clue about impacted majors. If left up to me, I was going to be who some of you all are going to actually read in some of my classes, W.E.B. Du Bois. I was going to be the next Du Bois. I wanted to be a sociologist. Okay. If y'all don't know, some of you all will actually read Du Bois's works in my class. Some of you will not. If any of you are interested in learning about who that is, definitely look him up on a quick Google search. W.E.B. Du Bois. It's French, so it's spelled D-U-B-O-I-S. But that's who I wanted to be. It's okay if you don't end up doing or following through with with the dreams that you had when you were 12 years old. It's okay to want to switch your major after being in school for a year. Okay, it is all right. You will be perfectly fine. Here's the difference: stick with it. Whatever it is that you choose, stick with it. It's consistency that allows you to maintain success. Okay, success is a force. It's not a thing, and it's definitely not a destination, but rather it's a force, like gravity. um See this, right? What just happened? Envelope fell. Why? Well, because the force of gravity was acting on it. Force of gravity is still acting on it. It's acting now. In it's constantly active, right? That's what a force is, right? And success is just that. It's constant, right? It's a constantly activated element of daily life, right? Now, here's the thing. As long as you wake up, right, you start that momentum. All right. Here's the thing: you can increase or enhance that momentum. You can add to it throughout the day and over the years based on the different choices that you make. Okay. So I say all of that to say the road, the journey, and the path to success that leads me here before you all tonight in front of these internets in this year of our Lord was a road that I ended up actually making brick by brick. I did not have it already planned out. I did not always know. I don't come from a family of professors. This is not something that is, I'm the first person in my family to go to college. I'm the first person in my family to receive a doctorate degree. Oh, sorry. The nickname that folks used to call me when I would respond that I wanted to be an ER physician, a doctor, was Doc. That's a childhood nickname of mine. It was Doc. My great great grandmother used to actually call me Dr. Cagnaletti before I even graduated from high school. And thankfully enough, I've actually fulfilled that dream. At least I am indeed a doctor, just not an ER physician, and that's okay. That was my original plan. My plan evolved, it developed, and it worked. Okay. um, because I was consistent and I stayed with it. I want to highly encourage each and every one of you all to do the same thing. And that's also, too, a part of the point that I want to highlight for all of you for this first writing assignment that we have to do. Listen, my job here throughout this entire course, especially our online course, is to create the conditions and the environment where one, you can learn these a set of learning outcomes that have been determined by both the college and also to the department for taking the English C1000 or the English C1001 or the English 226 course. Okay. So we're going to do that. We're going to do that. All right. But my other job here is not to actually sit up here and to like not pass people. Okay, that's not what my job is. My job is not to not pass people. Okay, my goal when I wake up in the morning is not, ooh, how can I make somebody fail today? That's not even the type of class that I actually run. Okay, my goal is to try to create the conditions that help to lead to your ultimate success, right? Your ultimate and greatest success, at least within the domain of English. Okay. um each and every one of you all will have the opportunity to um, submit your work, certainly, but also you'll have the opportunity to submit the best version of your work, right? Meaning that all of you will have the ability to revise your essays. Now, what does it mean to revise? What it means to revise is that after you've submitted your assignment, right, especially on the day that it's due, right, within the time frames, you hit the minimum expectations. If you end up receiving a grade that doesn't reflect the grade that you not the grade that you thought you should get, everybody thinks, I believe, that they should receive an A, right? But it's not that, right? But if you know that you could actually write better, that you could do some things better, or based on the commentary, you're like, oh shoot, dang, you know what? Okay, wait, no, I see it. Let me can I get another crack at this? Right? That's what the revision is for, right? So you all have the opportunity to um certainly, right, submit the work, but you have the opportunity to submit the best version of your work, right? The version of your work that has been crafted carefully and that's been crafted intentionally and that has had time, thought, effort, and consistency put in it. Why? Because consistency is the key to success, right? Many of you, especially in my composition classes, maybe not so much directly, or at least not so much in the same way in my literature class, will see that um, I actually teach using hip hop as a cultural framework, right? Hip hop as a bridge, to say the least, right? If I'm not using academic words, right? If I'm just kind of speaking metaphorically, I use hip hop as a bridge to connect your personal experiences, right, or the your everyday lived experiences to the academic concepts that are to be learned. Okay, and so to that extent, part of what part of what my um, approach for teaching and learning is greatly informed by, or rather, one of those hip hop philosophical principles that my approach to teaching and learning is informed by is the concept of the marathon by Nipsey Hussle, right? Your constant repetition is the path to progression, right? Which is one of the most famous quotes, or at least one of the most powerful quotes that Nipsey Hussle is remembered by. Constant repetition is the path to progression, right? You can practice something imperfectly 1,000 times, and you could be great at doing that thing imperfectly, right? However, when you practice something that is informed and that is intentional, that is deliberate and that is consistent, in other words, right, when you practice something that is done with the goal of increasing and enhancing the process by which you take to achieve mastery, right? When you engage in learning with this idea of the process in mind that you will get better and with the expectation that you'll get better over time, that is how, when, and where you will begin to become successful. That is how you apply the marathon philosophy or principles, right? So, um, that's one of the things that I actually want to highlight for you all. In fact, that was how I survived through my time after switching my major from a biological sciences major to an English major. I absolutely did not like English because of ancient, excuse me, not ancient, but because of British literature. Right. Some people love British literature, and don't get me wrong, like it's actually pretty fly when you if you can kind of get to it, if you can like access it, right, it's fly, right. My problem was that I didn't have an access point to it, and I very rarely had anybody kind of bring the literature to life to me, right? So I had to kind of find a way to make it interesting for me. So one of the ways that I used to make literature, and I mean, from all across anything that was outside of my kind of sphere of reference, interesting to me was I would compare it to, or I would find parallels. I'd look for connections between and within different elements of hip hop culture, right? And so that's greatly informed my approach to teaching and learning, and also to becoming a successfully published author, and also to an English professor. All right. So let's take a look here. That's a little bit about myself. I've got everything that I need up right now for our first foray into week one. Please feel free, drop any questions, comments, concerns, even emotionally justifiable outbursts, all of which are indeed acceptable and available for you to drop in the chat. I see we have one emoji. Excellent. Yes, from Luna. Hey, I love the emote. Let's emote in the chat, folks. Okay, let me see here. There we go. All right. Now, let's leave the student version. There we go. Okay. Okay. All right. So I am going to. Oh, looks like we got some questions here in the chat. Perfect. Question. Just regarding discussion board number one, I was following the module submission format. Excellent. Good job. You gave us an example of format and followed it, given my response. Okay, cool. Yeah, great. You know what? So let me see. Lately, I am going to. I'll give you some comments and feedback on your discussion board number one. I generally do that for um, um, at least the first three. I'll comment on everybody's discussion board post for the first three discussion boards, and then I'll start making like some selective comments. I'll kind of pull back a little bit from, just because it takes so much time to actually comment and respond to everybody. But Laylee, I'll make sure to look out for yours. If I'm not mistaken, which class are you in? Are you in the C1000 or the C1001 class? I see Luna is emoting. That brings me such joy. Excellent. I love it. Yeah, Laylee, when you get a chance, let me know which class you're joining us from. Oh, okay, great, cool. So 101. Okay, cool. What section number? Which section number? Are you 2-1 or 2-2? I'm only asking because I want to make sure that I look out for your comment. Let me see here. And I'm gonna also let me see, share my screen with you all. 2-1. Okay, perfect. Cool. Excellent. Great. So all of you should be able to see. I'm sharing my screen right now. So you all should be able to see my screen. And this is the student view. So I'm trying to be pretty intentional about whenever I share or show my screen. Perfect. Okay, got you. I got you. I'll make sure to look out for that. I'm trying to make sure to be very intentional when I show my screen to show the student view because the instructor view there is some notable difference, especially since I'm not showing all of the course modules that are to be published right now, and it'll get a little bit chaotic. So I want to try to avoid that just by sharing the student view. So right now we're looking at my C1000 class. Okay, so if you have C1001 or if you have English 226, we'll have a chance to kind of take a look at that first week too as well, and most especially that discussion board. Okay, so something that I want to kind of highlight for you all, and I'm going to actually revise even what you see right here for all of you who are in my C1000 class. So there is here, let me do this. This will be better. So that way I won't show anybody's class. Let me see. Leave student view. There we go. Share this. Okay, cool. Great. All right. So let me see. Student. There we go. Okay, there we go. Yep. All right. So, okay, this is just an example. This is like a sandbox class that I have. Okay, this is not what anybody's looks like just yet, but this is how yours will begin to look. So, the general structure that I like to employ for my course modules is, of course, you'll see the title, but I like to delineate in terms of the materials that's there, what needs to be read and what's a PowerPoint lecture versus what's an activity. Okay, so you're gonna see this carries over for everybody from my C1000, C1001 class, and also 226. In that first week, I'm going to also to kind of follow this structure and plan. So that way I can organize the information that's provided there and just make it easier for y'all. Okay. So that way you can see everything that's down under the activity section is something that you have to actually submit. And then everything that's under the readings and PowerPoint lecture section, that's what you'll have to certainly read and take notes on. Okay. Um, so I just wanted to kind of highlight that for you all. But this is exactly what it looks like right now. Again, I'm going to actually go back and revise this so that way it shows clear delineation, two clear sections in all of my classes. Okay. But for this first week, folks who are in the C1000 class, here's the whole book. Okay. From the RZA's Tao of Wu. Now, for some of my classes, I'm able to get the whole text. I'm able to find a free PDF copy. And for other books, I'm not able to find a free PDF copy. Okay. It turns out that for this class, we have all PDF books, all free PDFs for my 226. If you are in my 226 and if you are in my English C1001 class, you will have to purchase your books or rent them. Okay, you can either purchase or rent them from either our bookstore, chegg.com, or even Amazon. They certainly have some affordable prices there for you. If you are struggling to find the text, if you don't have access to and you're not going to get access to the text, send me a message like tonight or tomorrow at the latest. I need a message from you by the end of this week so that way I can try to figure out. Uh-oh, is my audio off? You guys can't hear me? Test, test, 1, 2. You can't hear me? Uh-oh. I'll finally get to test, test, 1, 2, test, test, 1, 2. I'll finally get to drop that sizzle line. Chat. Oh, okay. Okay, cool, 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 cool. I just saw a message down here in the chat that asked that the audio had cut off. Okay, cool, perfect. I'm glad that y'all can hear me. Let me know if anything, if you can't hear me or if there's any problems, anything, just drop it on in the chat. I kind of have a side glimpse of it, so I can kind of see what's popping up there. Okay. So yeah, if you're in my C1001 or in my 226 class, you will have to actually buy those texts or rent them. There's some readings that we'll have in the 226 that might be available online. But for the majority for the most part, they are not going to be available online. You're gonna have to actually rent or purchase the text. Okay, and when you purchase the text, you'll have to actually get it with the access card or the access code from our bookstore. Okay, so just to kind of keep that in mind. Oh no. Okay. Hopefully it's not going to cut off anymore. If it does, definitely let me know. Is this better? Can you all hear me okay? Um, when I kind of hold the mic up closer to my mouth like this? Let me know. Um, okay, so first book that we're going to read is going to be The Tao of Wu. Um, And oh, shoot. Okay. Sorry. Let me back up just for a quick second. All of you can join me in going to just follow along with me on your own computers or in like a new window and go to syllabus course documents. And then when you go to course documents, this is still under modules, cut out a bit, but you can still make it out. Ooh, okay. Okay. Sorry about that. If you need me to repeat something, just say, just tell me to repeat. Tell me what to repeat, and then I'll do my best to go back. Um, but if you can, join me in going to under modules, going to syllabus course documents. And if you go to syllabus course documents, you're going to go down to the last post that's provided under the syllabus course documents called course schedule. You're going to click that course schedule, right? And okay, so it says access denied. I need to leave. Sorry, so under syllabus course, let me share this tab here instead. Okay, so you all should be able to see down here at the bottom, it says course schedule spring 26. I'm going to open that up, and then when I open it up, it should actually take me directly here to the course schedule. And you're going to read and follow along with the readings under the reading due column. This will tell you what's due and when and where. Okay. This is your parent course map. All right. If it's my modules don't show. I'm not sure. Ashley, which course are you in? Let me know when you get a chance. Okay. Because then I'll go back and I'll double check on that. But 101. Oh, 1001. Okay. Let me see. Ooh. Hmm. Okay. 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 It looks like I see. I see exactly what the problem is. It doesn't look like, I don't know how I did not post that. Okay, so I will pull it up and then we'll go over it together. Oh no, test, 1, 2, test, 1, 2. Even though you screenshot, huh? That's okay. No. You're perfectly fine. I didn't post it up. It doesn't look like I posted it up. I thought that I did. I must have worked on it and then didn't post it up. Sorry about that. But we will go over it today so that way I can at least kind of orient you. Um Hopefully I'm kind of cutting in and out. Test 1 2 test. There we go. Okay. Yeah, looks like I'm back. Yeah. So Ashley, I will make sure to go over that today right now, and then I'll go and repost it as soon as we finish this live stream. Okay. Um, but for now, we will take a look here. I just wanted to kind of highlight that for y'all to show you where you can go in order to get started for week 1 and every other week that follows. Okay. So the week one, February 2nd through the 8th is going to include your readings that's due, and that you can find under your module one. Okay, course module one, right? So boom, we have to read the intro and chapter one from the Riz's Tao of Wu. And then on the right side of the column, you should also see in-class activity. Okay, so I've handled the administrative matters, but so that you can ignore that. But everything else that follows, as long as you're in the class, then administrative matters have been handled. Um, but if you look beyond that, then you should see beyond wit and grit, multiple intelligence surveys, student info survey, and then quiz, syllabus quiz. That's everything that's listed under here. Okay. So the Beyond Wit and Grit is actually a link to a video that you want to take notes on from Howard Gardner. And I think I actually detailed and discussed that in the video that I posted yesterday. Um, Tamika, are you able to hear? Excuse me. Did anything change? Are you able to hear me now? Part of why I'm asking too as well is because I need to decide whether or not I want to actually stick with YouTube or if I want to dump it and go straight on over to Zoom. I think I may have to actually go straight on over to Zoom. You know what I mean? Okay, cool. All right. Um, yeah, so just keep me informed about it. So we're going to start by watching this video from Howard Gardner on multiple intelligences. And then there's a link here that'll take you directly to the multiple intelligences survey, which is this PDF. You can print this out and then complete the survey. So that way you can begin to discover and learn more about your learner strengths, right? So make sure that you print that out and that you copy it. Or excuse me, that you print it out and that you complete it. Okay. You don't have to turn it in just yet. However, during the discussion board number two, that's when you're going to have to use it. I think discussion board number two or discussion board number three. All right. Um, Down here, you'll see a link that says MI profile, and that MI profile just stands for multiple intelligences profile. Based on your top score for the multiple intelligences, right? You can have multiple top scores, right? So that's perfectly fine. But whatever your highest score is, that's going to be your predominant learner strength. Okay. And that learner strength has a whole profile and set of characteristics, even practices that you could begin to develop in order to sharpen up that tool. Okay. Um, so you want to make sure that you click this link here in order to learn more about your multiple intelligences profile. See if it actually kind of corresponds with any of your experiences that you might have actually had growing up, where people might have actually seen maybe a way that you recognize patterns, not as an intelligence, but rather as something else. Um, but you always kind of had this sense, this nagging kind of, knock at the back of your head that says, No, 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 that's actually a strength. Like I'm pretty comfortable there." Right? Be mindful of those moments that you might have had throughout your life. Okay. And then lastly, but not leastly, you'll see the student info survey here that's provided. And then I'll add the syllabus quiz too as well. So this student info survey just helps me to actually learn a little bit more about you. So that way I can help to better meet your needs and identify really what some of your needs are. So yeah, let's make sure to actually complete those things there. All right. And again, like I said, I'll make sure to actually add that. Let's see. We got some comments in the chat. I see that for the English 1001 module, multiple intelligence is not. Yes, right. Correct. Yes, it's not there. It's not there for you all. I'm going to actually go over the C1001 week one in just a second. So that way we can kind of see what's going on there. This is just for my C1000 class. Okay. Might be my Wi-Fi. I had to switch mine. It was lagging. Yeah, no, you're right, Luna. It could very well be my Wi-Fi. But let me know if it's if I'm not coming through, or if I start cutting out more. Just let me know, because it could very well be my Wi-Fi. Uh, Close the app. Okay, cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, great, great, great. Perfect. Okay, so let's go. So that's week one for the C1000 class. All right, let's go to week one for our C1001 class. As a matter of fact, actually, let me go here. There we go. Okay. All right. Now you as a student. Okay. So for week number one, okay. So for week number one for you all in your discussion boards in my C1001 class, you're going to actually use the record upload feature. Okay. You're going to use the record upload feature to record your responses, okay, to these set of questions that are down here. What brings you here? What kinds of habits and practices, techniques do you recognize that you bring with you into this course? What are your three highest multiple intelligences? Have you ever heard about multiple intelligences? What did you discover about yourself that you did not already know? Describe the challenges you think students have in understanding the text in college courses. What, if any, strategies have you tried to overcome? Excuse me, have you tried to overcome these issues, and how have they worked? Lastly, what do you hope to gain from taking this course? Right? What fears, if any, do you have? All right. So this video here is not in connection to this assignment. This is just a way, this is a video that helps to provide you all with a kind of introduction on how to start off your semester strong. Okay, it's a general educational practice and tip. Um, I need to go back. It looks like, let me see. It looks like I actually need to go back and do a couple of more additions. I need to into the Howard video, the multiple intelligences survey, and then also to the, let me just click here, the profile. Okay. So I'm gonna, when we finish, I'm gonna have a couple of more readings posted up under here. Give me a couple more items posted under here under week one readings and resources for English C1001 class. Okay. Um, let's, where's my course schedule? I'm going to have to get back to you all with my course schedule for C1001. I It's not in the place where I had it, where I thought that I had it. So I will post that up a little bit later on this evening, right after I finish posting the additional items underneath week one for you all. Okay. So we'll come back to that. Let's see. And then for my English 226 class, that one. Okay. Yes. So you all should see. Let me see. I'm going to switch this to you as a student, and we're going to share this tab here instead. So for that one, you all should see the course schedule posted. And here in week one, we have two readings. So we're going to be discussing, we're going to do class intros. So that's going to be your discussion board, and then an introduction to African American rhetoric. For Canvas, we'll have an introduction on African American rhetoric, and then also to one of the first readings, which is Robert Hayden's The Middle Passage. Then you have to complete the student information sheet. Okay. So that's for our English 226 class. Let's go back. Take a look at week one. So here, boom, right, you'll see the student info sheet. You'll see there's also an additional survey that I want for you all to actually compose here. It's the pre-writing assessment, which helps to give me a little bit of background on your skills at writing. Since even though we won't be doing very much of it here in this particular course, I do want to actually get a sense of, where you need some assistance and also where you have some areas for further growth. Okay. So you will have a different discussion board. Number one, it's not going to be the same as the multiple intelligences um, um, survey that my composition classes have. No, for yours, for yours, I want you all to actually complete a set of iFalcon modules, right? So part of our strategy in the campus was to help to equip our students with at least a general view of what's required, what it takes in order to become a successful college student. And by that, all we simply mean was with that we wanted to expose you to some of the habits and practices of what most successful college students actually do. And so we created a set, I believe it's like about 42 or 43 modules that are available for you all to take online at your own pace. However, at your own pace, you'll have to actually complete these by Sunday. Okay. So there's a set of 6 modules total that you have to complete. Um, and you'll have to download the certificate for each module, right? You'll have to download and take a screenshot of each module certificate. What you can do in order to make this clean and clear is to copy and paste the screenshot on a Microsoft Word document, then save that document as a brand new file and then upload it to right here, right? Upload it to the discussion board post. All right. So here we have some who've just posted up multiple, right? Which is great, right? And they have like they have like kind of multiple individual posts, which is fine too. But just the easiest way to do it, um, download those certificates, put them all on one Microsoft Word doc, upload it as a PDF or as a .doc file, and it'll right after you hit reply, right? So you can go right here and just kind of upload it, right? You can just click this button right here, attach, right? And whatever the file is, you can select it, boom, click open, and then it'll upload it. Okay. Let me know if you all need any help with that from my 226 class, but this here is just a way that we have to get you oriented and getting you on the good foot for starting off in this college level English class. Okay. This college level literature class. All right. Okay, folks. So that is indeed a um, our broad survey across 3 courses. Pretty ambitious. um, any comments, questions, concerns, or even emotionally justifiable outbursts, all are welcome. Kind of hang here for a little bit and open up the floor for y'all. If you have no questions, that's perfectly fine. So y'all can drop that in the chat as well. Okay. Let's see what we got. All right. That is correct, Luna. Yeah, so discussion boards will be posted by Thursday and they're due by Sunday. Okay. Sometimes I might actually post up the discussion boards a little early, but you'll have to actually work through the entire module first before you could even submit any of the assignments. All of my assignments and the curriculum itself, it's meant to be engaged with. That's a great question, right? It's meant to be engaged with in a consecutive manner, right? Meaning that in order to do any assignment, in order to do any of the activities, you have to first read and take notes on the material that comes before it, right? That's why you saw on my initial model that I kind of showed out, and you'll see I'll make this change um, a little bit later on this evening. The activities come after the readings, PowerPoint, and lectures, okay? Because they're meant to be engaged with in consecutive order. All right. Yeah, great question, Luna. Any other questions? Excuse me, I'm so sorry. I hope that was not super loud in y'all's ears. Okay, well, I'm not seeing anything more in the chat, folks. So um, I will take it that we have no more questions. Thank you so much. So listen, we're gonna do this every week. Okay. Um, Sometimes I may come in and I'll have a special guest and we'll just kind of talk, not to entertain you. Okay. This is not an entertainment space. uh, the special guest that I'll bring in, right, will usually or typically be in relationship to something, some text that we are reading. Okay. And so we'll be discussing the topics and issues that arrive out of those readings. Okay. Sometimes we'll do that. Sometimes we'll do just Q&A, right? Sometimes I'll have like some extra Scooby snacks that I'll have for you all to actually take up, just some tidbits and notes, or I'll show you all how to kind of move through a module, right? But my goal here is just to try to create a space every week where y'all can tap in live and ask me direct questions that you may or may not have a chance to ask me throughout the week. Okay. I'll always make these available underneath the same announcement that was sent out. All you have to do is just click on that link, and then it'll take you directly to the recording of this video. Okay. Or of this live stream. All right, folks. Man, bless you all. Thank you all so much for the well wishes. I'm excited about getting to meet all of you, and I'm excited to see a lot of your writings and a lot of what it is that you all, a lot of you are thinking in regards to some of the issues that we're going to be engaged with throughout this semester. Y'all take care of yourselves and take care of each other. I'll see you all next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. All right, folks, enjoy your evenings. Peace.